So these exercises are a few examples of how we can really dynamically train the core properly. We're going to use this yellow gymnastic ball to really challenge his abdominals and his obliques. This first movement pattern is simply he's going to lift the ball up and move it and touch the ground behind his head all the way back. So you're not only able to stretch out his lower back, but the power and body control it takes to move this through with the abdominals is obvious. And it's a lot better than just doing a basic crunch. He's then going to advance that into a full rotational movement with it. And the core, as remember, is also something that has to move dynamically. And it has to be able to respond to whatever physical task you're asking it. Reverse it. Reverse it. And so again, we want to be able to dynamically train the limbs in a different movement pattern, different ranges of motion. And we ask the core to be able to facilitate that. Great job. The next one is we're going to do a side-to-side motion specifically to target the obliques a little bit more. And these obliques are not an often well-trained muscle group, but they're huge in stabilizing the athlete, allowing for proper rotation. They are involved in extension, flexion of the spine. And again, you can't train those in just simple linear patterns. So the next one, we're going to put our feet up here. We're going to keep our feet, hands down. We're going to bridge, bring your butt up. This foot is here. Right foot, point it like a ballerina. Point it. There we go. Now we're going to roll this in, bend it, and lift up, and out, and in. There we go. So what he's able to do here, obviously, is stabilize his spine, but he's dynamically training his left hamstring. And it's a very simple tool, but very, very difficult to achieve. Switch legs before you cramp. And now the left, point it like a ballerina. Yep. And extension and all the way. And remember, when you push up, you want to get into the ball of the foot. So you specifically target the hamstring and the glute of the opposite leg. Very, very good. And rest. So you don't need a lot of fancy equipment to be able to achieve very functional strength patterns that really affect your sports performance. And as long as you start understanding just simple principles, then you can take a simple gymnastic ball or simple balance devices and really improve your sports performance very quickly. Thank you. So now you're going to keep the left leg here. The right leg's out there. Point it. Keep it straight. Yep. He's going to lift this up and bring it over and touch the ground 3 times on the opposite side. So again, we're after core stabilization while dynamically moving his leg in a different movement pattern. Go ahead. That's it. And he gets a tremendous stretch in his posterior side of that glute and oblique, while he's also activating his abduction and his adduction in his hips. So being able to train the central part of your body is so important in terms of being able to perform at a high level in sports. Now you're going to roll, that was a good one too. So now you're going to roll this in, lift up, get in the balls of your feet, and you're going to move the ball around in a circular pattern. So let your legs extend out, yes, all the way out. There we go. So again, the body control and strength that this takes is quite extreme. He's getting a tremendous amount of strength work done into his hamstring and his glute. Obviously his back and his abdominals and his obliques, all the hips, everything is involved. Awesome. So I think that you can really challenge yourself and your athleticism with just a simple gymnastic ball as long as you understand that you've got to move it in different patterns, different ranges of motion, and involve all the limbs while stabilizing the core. So I think as an athlete, you can accomplish a lot of things with a very simple tool as long as you understand basic principles that you need to learn to stabilize your core and dynamically move your limbs around it. That's what you're always asked to do in sports. And you don't need to have a lot of fancy equipment to achieve these things. You can gain a tremendous amount of basic functional strength in your body that you can then use and transfer directly to your sport with a very simple tool such as a gymnastic ball such as this.